Hi, you're watching NME. I'm Andrew Trendle, and we're here with Girl in Red.
Hey guys.
She
Hey Andrew.
She might be over there. Hey Marie.
Yeah, I don't know. You did it right for me at least.
But anyway, Marie, how are you today?
I'm doing okay. You know, I've been stable for a while. That's unusual for me. So that feels good. And I have a dog. She's with me right now. I love her, and I feel good.
The next fruits of your labor come with the new Christmas single. I've never seen it loud before. 2 queens in a king-sized bed.
Have you heard it?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's very festive. I like.
Right? There's like some bells in it. It's like sleigh bells, and then there's like church bells. Like I feel like it just sounds like an entire city just celebrating Christmas. Like, have you seen what's it called again? Like Disney, like Scrooge. Have you seen that one?
A Christmas Carol, that one.
Yeah, A Christmas Carol with that other dude that has Carol in his name. Jimmy Carrey. No.
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey. I think he plays in a movie. And anyways, I just feel like that song feels like one of those like animated Christmas cities.
This song, was it always intended as a Christmas song, or did you just add bells later?
No, it was always a Christmas song. Like, the first lines I wrote for it was like 2 queens in a king-sized bed. There's no mistletoe above our heads, but I'll kiss you anyway on Christmas Day. Like, that was like the first thing I wrote for it. So like from the beginning, it was always a Christmas song. And also like the melody, like the piano theme always felt like very Christmassy to me when I wrote that piano thing. And like, especially I sent it to my grandpa and he was like, "Oh, this is the best thing you've made, but young lady, you should put it out as someone else than Girl in Red. You should like do your names backwards or something." Like, he fully said that. But I was like, "Bitch, no, I'm not gonna put this out under some other artist name. Like, I've done that. I've been there." When my grandpa liked it, I just felt like this needs to be like some warm, like old ass Christmassy vibe, because he plays piano and he always plays piano and that like old kind of like sounds like a brown bar vibe. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know if this even makes sense, but I just feel like the intro of that song sounds like a brown bar. Do you know what brown bar is?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, brown bar is like a bar that's just in the interior is just fully brown, and it's just like old men in there.
Oh, right.
Like drink beer and it's just really gross in there. But I'm not even sure if that's a Norwegian term, like brun bar.
Yeah. I know what you mean. It's like an old man pub, we'd call it here, yeah.
Yes, like an old man pub.
Like all Girl in Red songs, I'm guessing this song is a true story, right?
It's really just about being in bed with someone you love, so I've definitely done that. But like, it's going, like, I haven't had a girlfriend in a while, so it's not really from like a recent experience of like celebrating Christmas with my girlfriend. I was mostly just thinking about like my first Christmas with a girlfriend. Well, she's my ex, I guess. So my ex-girlfriend, and we were just so in love, and I kind of wanted to, I guess it's just like reminiscing that time.
For the music video, are you going to go all out Christmas crazy?
Oh, I have a dog here in my mouth. We're in the planning of the music video right now. I definitely want to do something that's very Christmassy and cozy, but I also want to bring like in another element of like something that's not just like very cheesy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it's so easy to make a Christmas video about just like Santas and just like all that shit, but that's not really my vibe. So we'll see. I think it's gonna be really beautiful though, so I'm excited for people to see it when it comes out.
And what are some of your favorite Christmas songs that you drew inspiration from?
I don't think I really drew any inspiration from like any Christmas songs in particular, because my favorites are like Last Christmas, and there's definitely like not any like 80s vibes in the song. And I also really like Driving Home for Christmas by Chris Rea.
Great song.
That's a really good one. And there are a bunch of like Norwegian classics that I really like. Oh, like Frank Sinatra, like White Christmas, and all those songs are also very like kind of makes your heart go warm and fuzzy. But also like the Michael Bublé versions are really good. I love Christmas so much. especially this year. Like, I'm so excited to give away presents and shit like that. I'm so good with presents. I just want to give presents.
What do you want for Christmas this year more than anything in the world?
That's the question. That I'm not allowing anyone to ask me that question this year, because like, if I want to buy something, and it's probably going to be like some music gear that nobody's going to even buy me because they don't know what it is, and it'll probably be like too expensive for like a Christmas present, and it's probably going to be like an investment from my side. So this year, I don't want anyone to ask me, what do you want for Christmas, Marie? Because I want anything. I will be very happy with anything that anyone gives me. Like, if someone gives me a book because they saw it and they were like, oh, I think Marie will like this book, then I'll be like, thank you so much. This is a truly great present. My only wish is that people buy me something if they think of me when they see it, and that they don't feel like they need to buy me something, because I really don't like that thing about Christmas. Like, everyone feels like they need to buy something for someone for Christmas. Like, oh, I don't know what to get my mom. Like, bitch, don't give her something. Like, don't give your mom some shit. Like, she probably agrees. Like, if she needs a new toaster, she's probably gonna get it herself. You know, a toaster is like the most sterile, like, meaningless present you can give anyone, unless you see a toaster and you're like, oh, I know my girlfriend loves toasters. Then you give, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or you can get those toasters that print like a pattern onto the bread. Or you can get Bart Simpson toasters that put like Bart Simpson's face on the bread.
That's and I would love that personally, because I love The Simpsons. So, you know, Andrew, if you get me one of those, no, you don't. I'm just joking. But yeah, I've had a lot of thinking around this.
Do you think your album will be finished by Christmas?
Yeah, it needs to. There's no other way. I can't work on this album anymore. Like, I think every day that goes by, I'm more confused by the music. So for me now, it's just really important to get that shit done forever and get it out of my life. That didn't sound very lovey, but I've loved it for a very long time. But now I'm just like, oh, it takes forever to get this done. I want to get it done, but I love it so much, and I can't wait for it to be out in the world and not just on repeat while I'm analyzing all the things I want to change about it.
Well, because obviously we've heard Rue was like Midnight Love wasn't from the record, but Rue was, right? Well,
Midnight Love is for the record also.
Okay.
But because of how the year turned out and a lot of stuff happened, things have just been pushed back. And obviously it's been a very like uncertain year for a lot of people. So I guess it was like a little bit of a surprise that the first song came out so much earlier than really what we kind of intended for it to come out, because I've wanted to have things a little bit more cohesive, but I guess that's just like what you get from living in these times. But it's all right, you know. It's probably happening all for a reason. I don't really believe that, but I'm gonna say it.
Everything's gonna be all right.
I hope so. I doubt it, but that's just because I'm a pessimistic person. But a pessimistic, but no, realistic with like a hint of positivity, you know?
Is that a good mantra for the album? Negative with a hope for the positivity? Like, is it?
Honestly, that's not really too far away, because like a lot of it's just me being like, okay, I need to stop this shit. I need to like, okay, I figured out like what I'm doing, and I know deliberately like what I'm doing that's not helping me be a happy person. And then it's sort of like this, you know, point of, okay, I can't continue like this. So yeah, there are definitely a lot of those moments on the album.
So there's a light at the end of the tunnel on this record.
Yeah, I think so, but that doesn't mean like it's a long way to go, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I feel like that's something that's like what I'm feeling right now also, is like I know a lot of things I'm dealing with and I'm very aware of them, but it's like doing the hard work, which is sort of also what I'm talking about in Rue, is like trying to get better and wanting to get better and doing the hard work to get better. But it's like realizing that it's also like it's a lot of hard work to work on yourself. I think it's not talked about enough really either, how hard it is to work on yourself. I remember like last year I was like, wait, why don't I feel better? Like I've had green tea every single night. Like I was like, Wait, isn't self-care like wearing like a shower, like a robe after taking a shower and then drinking tea? Isn't that self-care? Like, no, it's not. Self-care is like so much more than just like what you do also, but it's also how you treat yourself in your head and what you say to yourself. And I definitely have like this voice inside of me just saying that I suck and that I hate myself, and I'm definitely confronting that voice on this album.
And what can you tell us about the sound of the record and where it goes from, like, is Rue representative of how the record sounds, and where does it go from part 1 and part 2?
To me, there's like not even like a specific sound, because it's like I feel like every song documents a feeling I've had, and those feelings have been very strong, and I'm not able to leave them all into this, you know, this like thing that just sounds the same, because like they are so like distinct feelings to me, and like I feel like the record sounds very different, but obviously I'm trying to have like some, you know, to keep things a little bit cohesive, like to not suddenly use like a full-on like 80s track and then like suddenly have like you know, something that has nothing to do with that. So I'm, you know, working a lot around like piano and guitar, and I think that's also like a little bit different on this record. It's like I actually play a lot of piano. I'm not a very good player though, but I like it, and I like to write songs on it. And I also bought a piano last year, and I feel like you can hear that this is like an instrument that's been very present in my life because it's a lot more in the music. And I also think it's fun to use an instrument that not a lot of people like connect me with, because they're like, oh, girl in red, bedroom pop, guitar girl, lo-fi, like those are all the words in one sentence talked about me. So I'm kind of like giving that a little bit like, hey, wait a minute, y'all don't know what's gonna happen.
So it has been a weird year. What would you say has been kind of your big takeaway lesson from 2020? And do you have like a New Year's resolution for next year?
Big takeaway this year is that I'm the rudest person I've ever dealt with. And that means that I'm really rude towards myself. That's something I really realized this year. And I think it's developed a lot this year. I don't think I'm a rude person around other people, though. I think I'm a fairly okay person. And that's one thing. And also, I need to be more patient. Is that the right word?
Yep.
Yeah. That, you know, dealing with a dog and dealing with a creature that is not, you don't have fully control over, and you don't know what they feel because you don't know them, and just like eats poop and does like a lot of weird shit, you know, like I realized that I need to like work on my patience and just be more patient. Need to work on my patience, be more patient. There you go.
Amen. So 2021, patience, self-care, relaxation, living in the real world, and that world will be world in red, right?
Yes, you got it, Andrew. Yeah. Probably a little bit more next year, hopefully. You know, the record comes out. Hopefully, you know, I'm going to do a lot of cool shit. Hopefully play some shows again. Go back to England, hang out in London.
What?
You know, I just read an article that, you know, a vaccine is like 94.7% safe now or something. And like, I want to get that shit injected fast.
But amazing. Marie, thank you so much for your time.
Merry Christmas. Thanks for talking to me. Have a good one.